Good morning, everyone. This is Nikachu, Merfolk Master. And is anything banned yet? Are there any bannings? Is there anything to see banned? Because today they're going to ban things in Standard, Brawl, and Historic. Very likely, Omnath, you're going to get the hell out of here. You terrorized basically every format that exists when you just came out, and they're probably going to axe that thing because it's overwhelming Standard. They try. I wonder if they ban Omnath, do they unban Uro? Interesting. Anyway, let's grab a cup of coffee and let's wait for the news. If the news hasn't broken out as we speak yet, we're all waiting on it. Wherever you are in this world, whether it's the morning, afternoon, or evening, brew up the You brew up the coffee. I'm gonna brew up my coffee, and we'll brew up the magic together. We are live. We are live. Awesome. Excellent. Let me just edit where we are. Excellent. I could use my coffee. There's a lot of people who are here very early. Kyoka 620. Good morning, Satamane. Back to school. Badumsh. And also, happy Thanksgiving to everyone in Canada. We celebrate our Canadian Thanksgiving today. I know you Americans, you do it like way into November. We do, but we have it on the I believe it's the second week of October. I don't know the exact rules around the date of Thanksgiving, but that's how it is. So happy Thanksgiving to all the Canadians out there, all the fellow Canadians. A lot of people are like, Nikachu, aren't you American? Well, I'm North American, but that's about it. Nice. So what is the info? Do we have info yet? Maybe I should be close to Twitter, just in case something breaks out. I'm sure everyone is going to let me know at a moment's notice. So what we're waiting for is basically Omnath to get banned, but maybe something else as well will get banned. So Omnath. I mean, this card sees Modern play, and that's usually quite the barrier. I don't know if it sees any play in Legacy, though, but like Modern is already seeing play. It was just jammed into the Uro decks. Why not? Why not? I mean, they get extra land drops anyway, and they can easily afford a 4-color mana base. Just throw it in there. Probably won't be for another 40 minutes. Lucky Clover. Why Lucky Clover? So I never saw any of the gameplay of the recent... There was some recent invitational or something to that matter, but like everyone's talking about Lucky Clover. It's going to get banned, but I don't know in what decks that this is played. Whenever you cast an adventure or an instant spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. That sounds frustrating. So you play a Lucky Clover, and you get 2 stomps, you get 2 petty thefts, and I'm sure the petty thefts themselves are like... quite a disaster. So I'm guessing but how prevalent was adventure in Standard? And what does an adventure deck look like in Standard? Standard adventures. MTG Goldfish. Not my Clover, because all of them are also adventure decks. Aha! So it's all... Well, then we should ban the adventures. Ban all the adventures. Too strong. Too busted. So here's the Lucky Clover. And here are old... But is this old? Is this an old list? Standard. Yeah, it's sort of old. Happy Thanksgiving, Grim Ducky. Only Standard? No, nothing in Modern. Nothing in Modern's getting banned today. Just Standard. Standard's getting the axe. Standard, Historic, and Brawl. Because we all know how influenced the... Okay, hold on. Let's go to MTG Goldfish. Let's look at the metagame. Okay, so it's called Omnath. Okay, that's how far and disconnected I am from the Standard. It's called Omnath Adventures. Okay, so there are 2 problems. I see. So was it just Omnath Adventure decks in the top 8? Is this like the only deck that exists? I saw someone post something on Twitter. They had a white weenie deck that they qualified for the Mana Traders Open with. I thought that was pretty impressive. And it looked really lean, low to the ground, utilizing things like Giant Killer and Skyclave Apparition. When are they going to fix Legacy? Press F. Very slowly. Very, very slowly. They do not care nearly as much about Legacy. Happy Thanksgiving, Kyoka620. Good morning, Pan Hernandez. People submitting deck lists. You're more than welcome to do that at the moment. All right, so we've got... Oh, yeah, maybe we enlarge this. So this is what they're, I guess, trying to deal with. Red Bull Untapped. This has a 6-1 record, so something to the effect of a bunch of adventure spells, but also Omnath at the same time. And of course, you're a 4-color deck, so you can play all the best adventure spells. You get to play Giant Killer, Fae of Witches, Bone Crusher, Giant Brazen Bar. I'm surprised that only 3 is the last one in the sideboard. No, it's not even. The last one's not even in the sideboard. So Fae, 3 Brazen Borrower, 4 Omnath, Locus of Creation, and then Beanstalk Giant. Spike Hat, I guess these things are not that necessary. Exile the top 5 cards of your library. You may play cards exiled this way until end of turn. You may play an additional... Oh, great! More additional land cards. And then, of course, Lucky Clover, just double all your adventure stuff. Interesting, interesting. All right, so I heard of the Uro deck. I heard of the adventure deck, and now this is basically both of them squashed into one with Uro replaced by Omnath, more or less. Omnath was like 5 out of 8 decks in the finals, if I recall correctly, and I think it swept the quarterfinals. It was just Omnath shoe. Okay. Oh, it's just an Omnath show. Hello, Grev. What are your thoughts on Modern Spirits? They are on the rise because of Skyclave Apparition. They probably got the card that they needed. That's and it's simple as that. They found another good interactive card, and I think Spirits. I thought Spirits was fine, but I think Spirits was missing like one card, and they might have found it with that Skyclave Apparition. It removes anything. Let's get back to Skyclave Apparition. That card is ridiculous. And it's helping several decks. Like, not only... like, this card is making a big deal in Modern. It found a really good home in the Death and Taxes deck. It might end up finding a home in some other sort of blue-white Stoneblade deck, but it's also finding play in Spirits. So Spirits found the card that they were looking for. And not to mention... They found 2 cards, right? Like Blue-White Spirits found 2 cards. They found Skyclave Apparition, but they found Glasspool Mimic as well. This card is also seeing play in the Blue-White Spirits deck. If it's going to load, come on, let's go. While we wait for it to load, I'm going to take a delicious sip of my coffee. What's Coffee and MTG if you're not actually enjoying a cup of coffee in the morning? So Glasspool Mimic, a fantastic card for the Spirits deck because they're really crunched on Lords. Like, they have very few Lords. They have what's it called? Supreme Phantom, Drogskull Captain, that's about it. So to have something that only gives you more mana to curve into 3, because they have a lot of 3-drops, Spell Queller, Drogskull Captain, and now the Skyclave Apparition. Glasspool Mimic is a fantastic include in the Spirits deck. This is exactly the type of card, not only that Merfolk wanted, but also that Spirits wanted. And that combined with Skyclave Apparition is a deadly combination because you can now start copying the Skyclave Apparition. And it's such good value. You remove so many incredibly powerful one mana, 2 mana cards, and it removes anything. Like, okay, like, this is like way better than Brazen Borrower by a huge mile. Like, you can remove artifacts like Ether Vial. You can remove any big problematic creatures like Scourge of the Skyclaves, Mana Dorks, Giant Champion of the Parish, or like any particular creature. It's so wide. It's a 4 mana CMC creature or less. I mean, in Modern, that's basically everything except Primeval Titan, right? So it can exile like basically anything. It can get rid of Ensnaring Bridge. So you don't now you in Spirits, you don't necessarily need counter spells or some sort of awkward interaction for Ensnaring Bridge. You just play in Skyclave Apparition and exiles, and it's gone. It'll never come back. That's way better than Brazen Bar, where I bounce it back to your hand. But if you live to tell the tale, you're going to replay it. And then the ending is going to be completely different. So Skyclave Apparition was a fantastic boost, along with Glasspool Mimic. and they work together very, very well. You first do Skyclave Apparition, then you copy it with Glasspool Mimic. It's a deadly combination, just absolutely deadly. The ban list is coming to today. Are you going to look? Yes, we are waiting on the news right now. We're probably going to hear the news somewhere today, and then we'll talk about it. But it's only going to be Standard, Historic, and Brawl. And it's likely going to be just... Well, I can't tell for sure if it's just going to be Omnath. Maybe they're going to do what I want. Unban everything. Let's see the Standard environment that Wizards of the Coast originally designed. Let's see it. Also, Mono White Taxes is rising. Pleasant Kenobi must be having a party. Yes. So Skyclave... Lord Magicus is on 4th Skyclave for Historic. Maybe I got to get around back to playing Pioneer Spirits because I forgot about Skyclave Apparition. Oh, that means I need to own a Skyclave Apparition. Oh my god. What am I doing? How expensive is Skyclave Apparition right now? Oh, it's rising. It's right. I got to get my Skyclave Apparitions. I got to get them. Like, it's $4 now. Last week it was $3. Got to get my Skyclave Apparitions or it's going to be over. That card is probably still very underrated right now. I don't think people fully realize how strong of a staple that card is going to be in numerous decks going into the future. Yeah, Skyclave is absolutely nuts. Everything. Exiles any non-land permanent. Like, yeah, our artifacts, is it enchantments? I'm pretty sure it's anything. It's literally anything. Non-token permanent, just non-token permanents with converted mana cost 4 or less. So artifacts, enchantments, Planeswalker, all right, Teferi Time Reveler, goodbye. I had an empty board, it doesn't matter. Goodbye, Teferi Time Reveler. And Narsets can exile Jace the Mind Sculptor. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Fantastic card. Definitely going to be a staple in Modern for a while to come. Architect of Thought, good morning. Saheeli Rai and Oath of Nisa both were 20 cents, but I had problems with credit card and now they're both gone up $1. Saheeli Copycat found a great fit in 4-color Omnath Pile Shell. Yeah, that's possible. I saw a list with what list was that? Did it win a Modern challenge or something? I saw a Copycat list with Omnath somewhere, like on Twitter or something. Somewhere I saw a list, and maybe they're gonna. It's in Saheeli Rai was 20 cents. That's surprising. Like, the card is not that bad. There's like, I heard there was like a rule if the planes. What is going on here? Oh, I didn't spell Saheeli right. All right, what's going on here? How much are you, Saheeli? $3. I don't think it was ever 50 cents. $3 sounds about right. The all prints. Let's see the price history. All right, MTG Goldfish. Show me the price history of Saheeli Rai. Because this thing always potentially can be part of a combo. She's beautiful. Oh, I love the art actually on Saheeli Rai. Gorgeous card. Unfortunately. Whoa. Oh, you're talking about online maybe. Yeah, online very cheap. Basically 10 cents now, like $2. Stuff changes very quickly online. But as you can see, used to be part. You can see way back in the past. Saheeli used to be part of a 2-card combo and was very. And you can see based on the price decline, I think people were anticipating its ban, the ban of Saheeli Rai and Felidar Guardian, or like one of them. And then she came back. Why did she come back? I guess there was some sort of modern. Why did she come back? October 19th. What happened? What happened a year from now? Does anyone know what happened on October 9th? Like, what happened a year from now that Saheeli, she got a little bit of a boost? Pioneer was announced. That's right. There's always something, you know, you can tell based on the price spikes that there was some event, but yeah, that's correct. Pioneer was announced and that was a combo. It still is. No, it's not a combo. They banned, reban Saheeli? I can't remember if they banned Felidar Guardian. No, they banned Felidar Guardian. Saheeli still remains. We're waiting on it. We're waiting on it. Monster CC. Let's not get too excited here. Yeah, Pioneer was announced. You can tell. Bo. Hello. Good morning, Balada. Oh, and also Balada. Cheers. The 10 bits. Thank you very much, Balada. I get the sense that Balada has a budget of like $2 and spreads it amongst the streamers throughout the day. Very well, much appreciated. Phil Swifty. They banned Felidar. Yeah, they ended up banning Felidar, not Sihili. Who would want to ban this beautiful card? Beautiful, beautiful card. Very colorful. And I'm surprised she doesn't see a little bit more play. I mean, I get it. It mostly has to be combined with Felidar Guardian. But even in Modern, this is still a Splinter Twin combo. Okay, 3 colors. But still, like, literally Splinter Twin combo. Sorcery speed, but Felidar Guardian, if we take a check at Felidar Guardian, not a bad card. I think this is very much within the realm of the power of Modern. 1/4 creature, and you can blink something, so you get value out of Felidar Guardian. I'm very surprised that this combo does not see more play, or no one's put any time or effort into it, because it's. I mean, maybe it's because of the Jeskai colors, and maybe people are just too much all in on like Lightning Helix and what's it called? People are too all in on Lightning Helix and Lightning Bolt, when really they should be focusing maybe most of it on blue-white control cards and just the red splash for Sihili Rai. No vigilance? I don't know if that matters. Isn't it because you can tutor up Kiki Jiki and have to draw Sihili? Oh, so you mean that? Well, okay. So the difference is that those two first off, that combo, Kiki Jiki, is really heavy on red mana. When you design your Kiki Restoration Angel combo deck, you have to be heavy on the red mana to make this work. And you can only combo off at the soonest it's at turn 5. So there is a 2-card combo, Kiki Jiki and Restoration Angel. By the way, not a bad combo itself as well. This is also a good combo. 4 mana flash. So end of turn, if your opponent tapped out, flash in Restoration Angel. Your turn, tap out on Kiki Jiki, and then you got the game. Whereas with the Felidar Guardian combo, you have to play more at sorcery speed. But Sihili Rai at least gets. I like that you get some value out of this one. +1, you get to scry and at least deal damage to your opponent. I guess the damage is redundant, because if you're going to combo off, you're going to win anyway. And you can copy some stuff. So maybe there's some. If we can find more synergy with Sihili Rai and another permanent, maybe that's the key to putting this deck over the top. Only the Naya version did that, Lord Magicus. There was also Sean McLaren had a Jeskai Kiki Resto version that, when he was at the height of his career in Magic the Gathering, did very well. I believe he won a GP with the deck. He either won the GP or he got second place with a Jeskai Control Kiki combo. Because that's what Sihili Rai and the Felidar Guardian are usually jammed in. It's just jammed in a Jeskai Control shell. But anyway, I'm a bit surprised that this combo doesn't see more play in Modern as it is, and probably because Jeskai sucks, like, for the most part. The Lightning Bolt, but maybe it can come back. Like Jeskai, like regular Jeskai Control is sort of coming back thanks to what's called the Wildfire card, Cleansing Wildfire. Aspiring Spike is piloting Jeskai Control deck to really good success with Cleansing Wildfire. Kiki decks aren't exclusively Kiki Resto. You can stuff your Yorion decks with it, for example, since you're already spamming creatures with Chord Calling ETB effects. Absolutely. How do you? Oh no, I mistook you for Ugly Hood Rat, because Ugly Hood Rat is the our traditional standard player here. I was like, how do you know so much about Modern? I mistook the people. Since we won't see modern bans at least till Kaldheim, do you think that Wizards of the Coast could unban something? When is the appropriate time to take a look at the ban list and take something off? Wizards unbans cards when modern is stale, for example, or not moving, like it's safe, it's under control. They don't, when things are going to hell, they don't like the idea of unbanning things at that moment, because if modern has a problem, they need to address the problem first before they start unbanning things and then making potentially making the problem worse. Or like, let's say modern is in a bad shape, then you unban a card and it maybe gets into a worse shape or stays in a bad shape. Did the unbanning of the card have any influence or not? So anyway, they seem to like to unban cards when modern is quiet, modern is good, and I think modern is good. Like, I'm in the opinion modern is great right now. Even after the latest set coming out, adding Scourge of the Skyclaves to the mix, I think, and Omnath Uro decks, I think modern is really good shape, really nice, and a lot of people are exploring a lot of different things. We see Spirits on the rise, we see Death and Taxes on the rise. I think all the decks are relatively balanced. I think it's very good right now. Unbanned Stoneforge unban was pretty positive, and they seem also. I should also say, they seem to like to unban cards now when they ban cards. So in the past they have unbanned cards when the format has stale. Maybe they've changed their mind, because they seem to maybe unban cards now to weaken the blow of everyone getting pissed by the bannings. So I don't know, maybe they're when does everyone think, or under what circumstances do you think that Wizards unbans cards into modern, or just unbans cards period? Let you, all of you, talk. I mean, truth be told, I don't think there's a good rhyme or reason for anything that Wizards does. They just arbitrarily do whatever they want. Monster CC subscribed for 5 months in a row. Thank you very much, Monster CC, for continuing to join the wave. Where's my? Oh, here's my thank you thing. Thank you very much, Monster CC. And while, are there any questions way back in the beginning that I missed? I'm sure there's tons of stuff that I missed. Apparition versus Flicker Wisp. You want both. I think you want both of them. I don't think you want to replace one with the other. And if you look at the Death and Taxes, I'm pretty sure Death and Taxes are playing both of them. I don't think they chose one deck over the other. Oh, sorry, one card over the other. I can quickly look though. Yeah, it's 4 of each. 4 Flicker Wisp, 4 Skyclave Apparition. I mean, they're both really powerful cards. They're at 3 mana, but you know what? The Death and Taxes deck has room to play it. I mean, they had things like Blade Splicer that are now like basically obsolete to Skyclave Apparition. They've played with a chunkier curve, and they can afford to kick out some of that stuff. They played with Thought-Knot Seer in the past. They played with Eldrazi Displacer. So there's room to get rid of them for Skyclave Apparition, but you can never get rid of Flicker Wisp. It's also a very good interactive card, just like Skyclave Apparition, while also being flying, so good evasive damage. This Maul of the Skyclaves, I thought this was a BS card. Like, okay, what's so special about it? But the fact that it instantly equips to one of your creatures and gives it flying. Flying? Are you shitting me? Why does it need to have flying and first strike at the same time? So basically, it's indestructible, because there's not going to be any really large, beefy creature on the other side of the battlefield that's also flying at the same time. So any flying creatures are basically chump blocking whatever is going in the air with Maul the Skyclaves. So anyway, I underestimated this card when looking at it. It's actually a really good card, and I totally understand why it's kicking out other swords and other equipment from the Stoneforge Mystic package. Maul of Skyclaves is a very, very good addition to any. I don't know about any Stoneblade deck, but like basically any heavily creature-based Death and Taxes deck. Makes me wonder, should I revisit Merfolk with Stoneforge Mystic? Because I can now give my Merfolk flying with Maul of the whatever. I don't want to fantasize too much today. Is that yes? Death and Taxes is tier 1 now. Very, very it's a solid tier 1. Stoneforge Mystic unbanned was an apology unbanned for Hogak Summer. Stoneforge unbanned came right on time with the looting ban. When Grave Troll was unbanned, did they also ban something? No. Let's go back in time. Golgari Grave Troll is unbanned. Yes, they did. And it was after the Treasure Cruise era. It was after the Treasure Cruise era. Same thing. Same thing, people. Dig Through Time. Ooh, I've never seen that art before. That's the one with the doggy. So Dig Through Time, Treasure Cruise, and Birthing Pod are banned. That is equivalent to the Oko Summer, I would say, in terms of the magnitude of the cards that were told to get the fuck out of here. So like Birthing Pod is like Oko, Treasure Cruise was like Faithless Looting, Dig Through Time was like, I don't know, Bridge from Below. What was the third? Was there a third card that they banned during the Hogak Summer? What was the third card? I don't remember. But then they apologized. Well, I don't know if they rightfully apologized, but they unbanned Golgari Grave Troll, or as they put it back then, is no longer banned. No longer banned. No longer. Yeah, this is a very old announcement. This is January 19th, 2015. I'm not sure. Did I just hear my brother buzz? Hold on. Just give me a second. I'm just hearing things. I could have swore. Oh, something happened? Do we have news? News is happening? Oh, God. All right. We're already on the site. I don't want to be in archives. Let's go to news. Go backspace. I'm already here. Okay, people, give me a link. Link it up. Give me the links here. Because obviously they don't post their daily stuff on their main page. I have nowhere. The Wizards website is still very difficult to find anything that you're looking for. Team or adventures, like this is nothing useful to me. F&M at home. Send me your links. Oh, Pessimist Scientist has been subscribed for 5 months in a row. Thank you very much, Pessimist Scientist. All right, everyone's here with the links. Fantastic. Oh, there's a lot of changes. Jeez. Okay. All right, Ian Duke, what do you got for us, Ian? If this is even your decision in the first place. Omnath, Locus of Creation, is banned in Standard. Lucky Clover is banned in Standard. You know, on the surface, I would have never thought this card would have been ban worthy. I don't know if this was on anybody's radar until you actually play against the deck. And lastly, Escape to the Wilds is also banned. Exile the top 5 cards of your library. You may play cards exiled this way until the end of your next turn. You may play additional lands this turn. But you don't get to play them for free, do you? How does this work? Do you get to play them for free? It doesn't say so. Anyway, Historic. Oh wow, they actually did a lot. They had a huge number here. So Omnath is also banned in Historic, but they banned Teferi Time Raveler. We knew it was coming. Teferi, you're running out of formats to be viable in. The last one left, I think, is basically Modern. and you're probably going to get banned there too eventually. Teferi is going in the way of the dodo. Teferi is going to slowly become... Teferi Time Raveler is slowly going to become extinct. Let's look. Teferi Time Raveler. Banned in Historic. Legal in Modern. Soon enough, it's going to be Pioneer and it's going to come for Pioneer and Modern in due time. So anyway, Teferi Time Raveler is banned. Wilderness Reclamation. Wasn't this suspended, by the way? I can't remember. I think it was suspended. Now it's just officially banned. Well, we knew it was gone anyway. Wilderness Reclamation is banned, and Burning Tree Emissary unsuspended. So they're like, you know what? We took Burning Tree Emissary off, and then maybe the red-green decks just disappeared. And, okay, we can give it back. We can give it back to them. We'll give them back the Burning Tree Emissary. And Omnath, of course, is banned in Brawl. Honestly, I care so little about Standard. I don't think I want to read this, but let's read it anyway. For anyone who's clicking on this video and you came here to hear because I'm pretty sure my topic is Omnath gets banned in Standard, waiting for the results. So with last month's Standard banned and restricted update, we highlighted that we continue to monitor the Standard metagame as well as Omnath, Locus of Creation decks, and would make further changes if necessary, observing ladder play and tournament results over the following weeks, as well as the field of the grand finals over the weekend. We've concluded that additional changes are necessary. The two most popular decks in the Standard metagame, 4-color Ramp and 4-color Adventures, both feature Omnath Locus of Creation as a key component, while they did see a marked decline in the win rate of the 4-color Ramp deck after the banning of Uro, of the Titan of Nature's Wrath, particularly against the red and green aggressive decks and blue-black rogues. Omnath Ramp decks continue to have a warping effect on the metagame. Moreover, 4-color Adventures has become the deck with the highest overall win rate and has a favorable matchup against 9 out of 10 of the other top decks that don't play Omnath. This metagame dominance manifested itself in the players' deck choices for the grand finals, while it's common in a small field invitational tournament for players to test together and converge on a few decks. In this case, the field was a striking 23 Omnath decks out of a total 32. To address the dominance of Omnath Locus of Creation, it is banned in Standard. And a question for everyone watching, is this the fastest banning of a card since it just got printed in Standard? Outside of I think in the modern day era I'm talking about. I remember apparently I don't know if this is true, but Memory Jar got banned in a day after it got released. But this is pretty fast. I think this is way faster than Oko. Without Omnath in the environment, ladder play data makes it clear that adventure decks would remain as the strongest strategy. Therefore, we're choosing to ban Lucky Clover. Not so lucky anymore, are you? As a powerful and difficult to interact with part of that deck's engine, we expect that individual creatures with adventure and decks using Edgewall Innkeeper will continue to show up. But after this change, a greater number of other decks can successfully compete with them. Finally, as a further step to ensure that the ramp decks don't continue to dominate the Standard metagame, we're also choosing to ban Escape to the Wilds. This card plays a unique, powerful role as a bridge between strong ramp enablers like Lotus Cobra and powerful payoffs like Genesis Ultimatum and Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Wow, you had to bring that card back into Standard. Makes no damn sense to me. No flavor there. Isn't Ugin dead right now? Of non-land cards in the grand finals, Escape to the Wilds was played in the second greatest number of copies. As a card common to many ramp strategies, this is the most straightforward way to weaken that strategy as a whole and ensure a shift away from the recent Standard metagames. I still don't see the power in Escape. Can someone explain Escape to the Wilds to me? Why is this so good? Okay, it's how I'm understanding it, just looking at it, it's 5 mana. It's like a 5 mana explorer or something. Maybe if you have infinite mana in play, I totally understand this. So if you have 10 mana in play, you cast this and you can play basically, it's draw 5 and ramp. Exile top 5 cards. You may play cards exiled this way until, the end of your next turn. The next turn. I missed that. I don't know why they keep doing this until the end of your next turn crap. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like, not really a fan of Light Up the Stage, to be honest. I don't really like this delayed effect because you can't interact. You can't prevent that card draw. Oh yeah, okay, I totally can see this now. Yeah, top 5 cards. You can play them you can play the exiled cards until the end of your next turn. And of course you can't interact with the exiled cards, which is BS. All right, historic. As much as we've seen in standard, Omnath is proving to be a powerful contender in historic as well. Well, it sees modern play, for crying out loud. The win rates for these decks are lower in historic than standard. We are still seeing the meta share of decks using Omnath Locus of Creation increasing steadily, particularly in the best of 3 area, where it is currently the most played deck. Historic also provides a wider range of tools for enabling the multiple land drops the deck is looking for, such as Explore. Growth Spiral. Oh, really? Modern has those cards too. To greater diversify the health for the historic meta, Omnath is suspended in historic. We also have 3 current suspensions in historic to resolve. They are on the stack. Looking at how the meta has developed as a result of these suspensions, we feel that the removal of Teferi Time Raveler and Wilderness Reclamation have increased the diversity and interactivity of the format, improving the overall health balance. As a result, get the fuck out of here, Teferi and Wilderness Reclamation. They are banned in historic. It's officially banned. They were like unofficially banned before. Now they're basically officially banned. Burning Tree Emissary is a different case since that suspension. The power level of historic has increased considerably with the release of Jumpstart and Amoket remasters, and we have seen the meta share of Gruul aggro fall up notably. Of course, you take away their Mox Opal card, that's exactly what's going to happen. You can play Burning Tree Emissaries and a bunch of stuff for free. After considering the overall power level of the format and the matchups for Gruul aggro, we think there's room for Burning Tree Emissary to be a healthy and interesting addition to the format again. And Burning Tree Emissary is unsuspended in historic. And lastly, Brawl. Omnath Locus of the Creation is by far the most played commander in Brawl and currently has the highest win rate. Brawl is a format where we particularly have value diversity, so Omnath Locus of Creation is banned in Brawl. I'm not even going to read the end of that. I don't care. No, I wouldn't say no one plays Brawl, but I don't play Brawl. I don't think most of my field plays Brawl. The whole suspension thing is a joke. I don't mind it, honestly. I actually don't mind the whole concept of suspending cards. It's basically like a pseudo watch list, but they basically it's like saying, let's say they say we're going to ban Mox Opal. It's like we're going to temporarily ban Mox Opal and see what happens. And if the format gets better, goodbye Mox Opal. Instead of harshly saying we're definitely banning this card and it's gone for forever, it's just temporarily banned and they get to see what happens. But they're doing it with the promise that they're going to reevaluate the card in a few months. So I think we should be suspending cards in other formats, not just I think we can suspend cards in Modern. And I think they could aggressively suspend cards in Modern to see what happens. And they can still unban stuff afterwards. They can suspend, unsuspend, ban, unban, But the point is, because right now we're in a situation where it's either banned or it's not. So if we want to see if there are any changes we can make to Modern, we just have to say goodbye to this card for at least a few years, because we're not going to after it's banned, we're not going to reevaluate this card for like 5 years. Man, looking at that old article about Golgari Grave Troll getting unbanned back in 2015, my God, it's been a long time. But it's been a long time, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's been that long. I can't believe the Treasure Cruise era was like 5 to 6 years ago. I feel like I've been playing Modern for forever. Can we suspend cards in real formats? Exactly. I'm actually a fan. I would like to see that. I don't know. How does everyone else feel? This is an interactive morning show. How do people feel about suspending cards in Modern, Legacy? See what happens. Oh no, with suspension you can still that's restriction. By restricting cards, we can when you restrict a card, you only get one copy. And I think we should explore that too. I don't know why can't we restrict cards in Modern? And I think it would be really healthy for the format too. I think it would be really healthy for the game if we're allowed to restrict cards again. And I think you would make people a lot more happier. You'd make people feel less bad about cards getting banned, and you would retain some value in those cards. Like Plague Engineer restricted in Modern. There we go. Yes, let's restrict Plague Engineer. Restrict Plague Engineer 2020. We thought 2019 was the worst year in a generation banning wise. Yeah, 2020 showed another completely different story. It tried to one up itself. We gotta do better than 2019. I think everyone can live with one Teferi. Everyone can live with one Teferi. Quick, top 5 cards to restrict from you. Top 5 to restrict. In modern, we could restrict Uro. We could restrict. Oh God, you want me to do this so quickly? Sure, Teferi Time Raveler. We can restrict. I'm like drawing. I need to see some decks. Okay, hold on. I got the Stoneblade thing up. What Uropiles, Rakdos, Death Shadow, restrict Champion of the Parish. Restrict. I don't know. Maybe restrict even Primeval Titan. I wouldn't actually say that, but if Primeval Titan got out of hand, I could see that card totally getting restricted and still being consistent enough to cast. I have a bad restriction. It's probably just a bunch of control cards, right? Like you have to ban like Uro. Sorry, you can restrict Uro, maybe restrict Omna. Wow, they're just doubling it up here. Restrict. Well, they've already self-restricted to Fairy Time Raveler, so maybe restricting this card isn't even going to do very much. Restrict the Tron lands. Restricting Lava Dart seems really weird. I mean, I mean, anything is possible. Restrict Amulet. Oh, I could be in for that. Restrict the Amulet card. So I guess like yeah, those one of cards that are like really powerful, and I would rather not see so many of them. Okay, we could restrict maybe Ancient Stirrings. Oh, restrict maybe Karn the Great Creator. That actually might be a really good restriction to restrict Karn the Great Creator. I could be in for that. Well, you said it should be banned, but actually I could be in for a restriction of Karn the Great Creator. Because this is... Like when you have a Karn the Great Creator and then you kill it and it comes back, I mean, they just constantly have access to their entire sideboard. It's pretty frustrating. No, don't do that. Don't let you stay away from my Ether Vial. We ban Mox Opal cards and we can even unban a bunch of cards and just make them restricted. I think one Punishing Fire, no big deal. One Mox Opal, no big deal. I mean, if Affinity players, you want your Mox Opal back, come back. You can come back as restricted for sure. Restrict Kiki Jiki. I don't think that's necessary. If anything, you might want to ban Dryad from the Titan decks. But, well, I mean, this is what we're talking about. Why ban cards when you can restrict them? Is Dryad so bad if there's only one of them in the deck? I don't think so. Maybe one day. You know what's an interesting card to restrict? It would be Cavern of Souls. I think there's a lot of control players that would like to see this card go, and it's also, to be honest, it's literally like a free. Okay, let's compare this to City of Brass. Whenever it becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to you. Add 1 mana of any color. This is the bar that it takes to have a 5-color land in your deck. Cavern of Souls not only does that, but it will add any. It will deal no damage to you, and you get your creatures are uncounterable. So I actually think Cavern of Souls is a pretty busted card. And if one day they needed to chop down tribal decks, because tribal decks, there'd be like, there's tons of 5-color tribal decks, and there's no restriction on the mana because the mana is so free. I could see them coming after Cavern of Souls, but I wouldn't want them to ban it, but they could restrict it. They could definitely restrict the card. To restrict Cavern, especially compared to Territory and the other similar cards. That app, I think Origins was so diverse because of that format. So much fun. Never played more Magic in my life. Huh? That app, I think it was Origins. Yeah, I got to repeat your question again. I don't quite understand. But I do understand you never played more Magic than you ever had in your life. Restrict everything and add Command Zone, and we have a great format. Oh my god. Wizards of the Coast, Lord of Atlantis, and Master of the Pearl Trident are restricted. Data shows that Nikachu MTG is a pain in the ass in the format. I do hear that. Everyone hates, not only does everyone hate Merfolk, but everyone hates losing to Merfolk. Okay, so this is a deck review channel. So let's get in with the deck list review. If you haven't submitted it already, ! Deck review. Be very case sensitive here, and also make sure you write it properly. Deck review, not deck list review, not deck list, not deck list, whatever, reviewing thing. ! Deck review. Give the URL to your deck list, and also leave any comments of what you need help with your deck list. And by the way, this channel has a huge influence. There's a bunch of streamers watching this. They're looking at your original deck list to try to pilot. This has happened multiple times between like G-Hash and now Squat Chief just recently took an elf deck that he heavily criticized last time we had the show and played it to a 5-0. Just took the whole 75 and was like, you know what? I just want to play with this. I want to play with this elf deck. And he went 5-0 with the deck and ended up being incredibly good. He was super harsh on the design of the deck, but ended up doing really well. Oh, you're responding to something else. He said 4 common and 3 uncommon, 2 rare. Oh, I see. Okay, I got it. Yes, see, I've heard that format theory before, and I have no problem with that at all. The 5-0 elf deck was awesome. He went 10-1. Amazing. Just amazing. So you never know. When you are submitting your deck lists here, there are much better players that are looking for talented, new-looking deck lists, like new creative ideas that they haven't played before. Because I've now several times, and also this morning show seems to be full of content creators. I didn't even realize that at first, but then I find out, oh, a lot of you stream, so whatever. So when you submit your deck lists, you know it might get picked up by somebody. All right. Deck review, pick, and just for the record, the only suggestion I made for that elf deck was to have a second Craterhoof Behemoth. I didn't think that there was anything wrong with any of the other numbers. I had no problem with the numbers. But before Lord Magic's deck list has been chosen, but before we get any further, we gotta thank sponsors, because the sponsors, in addition to patrons and subscribers, keep this channel going. So we're gonna thank our sponsors, starting with themanabase.com. Your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And also the Manabase is supported by Fusion Gaming Online, my favorite local game store, and the deal of the week. The Canadian deal of the week is save 15% off all Core Set 2021 singles. So if you're looking for your Azuzas, your Fabled Passages, Ugin the Spirit Dragons, 15% off this week. Go grab them. Remember, it's all in Canadian prices. Fusion Gaming Online. Gotta love Fusion. And we're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. And you're probably and don't forget about the Mana Traders Open that they have the Mana Trader series. And this month is Standard. And if you're interested in Standard, it's a whole new format. Go qualify with a whole new deck, and you can support the channel by renting from them using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or you can save 15% off your first 3 months using my coupon code Nikachu. And thank Mana Traders for being our sponsor. All right, where's Lord Magicus's deck list has been interested to hear your thoughts on this monstrously powerful deck and how to best attack it. So we're not actually reviewing a deck. We're actually looking at... Okay, hold on. Okay, so Canister said that he won the Modern Challenge today, although with a slightly worse version of the list that I'm posting. So it's a ramp deck, very similar in style to the Niv-to-Light types of decks, using Utopia Sprawl, and it's using Oath of Nisa, which, by the way, is just ancient. It's like a super ancient. What did I call? I called Oath of Nisa a better Arkham's Astrolabe, because Oath of Nisa replaces itself and gives you access to any color mana. And I was always wondering, like, how is everyone so against Arkham's Astrolabe, but Oath of Nisa is totally fine? So we are now actually finally seeing the maybe the potential oppression of Oath of Nisa. So Path to Exile, Remand, Renin 6, Teferi Time Reveler, Saheeli Rai. Oh yeah, so this is the list that I saw, that Saheeli Rai and Felidar Guardian are now one in the same deck now, and it also plays Uro and Omnath. So as a Merfolk player, I'm not particularly concerned because I'm still dealing gigantic chunks of damage while being able to interact with the deck. And I'll tell you this much, as a Merfolk player, I'm sort of happy to see both Omnath and Felidar Guardian in the same deck, because now gives me a good reason to have Dismember in my deck, because otherwise I don't really like having Dismember in my deck only for Omnath, because I can still race an Omnath, but if there's Omnath and Felidar Guardian in the same deck, I'll have my Dismembers ready. I would just attack this deck with Island Walk and just have, a Force of Negation at the ready when I need to Force negate something like one of these Planeswalkers. I don't actually, personally, as a Merfolk player, I don't see how I'm going to have a big problem with this deck. I think a lot of combo decks still beat this. We'll have to see. I'm going to have to see how it shakes up. From the look, I have to see how it plays out, because from the look of it, it doesn't look that impressive, but maybe this is just the most aggressive version of Uro and Omnath that there is, while still forcing a lot of decks to tap out again, preventing people from tapping out, because you can always Saheeli. If you like turn 2, you can turn 2 a Saheeli Rai, and then turn 3 a Felidar Guardian and play. Oh, so that's interesting. We actually can ramp this Splinter Twin in play. You could easily play Lord of Atlantis turn 2, and then they go Felidar Guardian, and you're dead. So that's a problem. What can I do? I might keep Spreading Seas in my deck just to hit the Utopia Sprawl. I don't know. I understand you won the Modern Challenge. So here's the deal. Okay, just looking at this deck, I'd bet dollars over donuts that Canister got a lot of free wins because they were not expecting the combo Saheeli Rai and Felidar Guardian. That was very, very valuable. I actually look at it in the same way of the Oops All Spells deck. In the beginning, they're going to get a lot of free wins because they've got Goblin Charbelcher in the sideboard that most people are not expecting. But once the Charbelcher card is in the sideboard, and you're expecting it and you're preparing for it, there goes the free wins. And I think there were a lot of free. So I would be much more interested in seeing how well this deck is going to do in the near future, when everyone knows that the cat combo is part of the archetype. I think that is a very big influence. Okay, the deck I think sucks, Elves. Oh, but you went 5-0 with it. Look at this. He's coming back for more, looking for more deck ideas. Better Arkham's Astrolabe. Yes, I think it's a better Arkham's Astrolabe. It's like Arkham's Astrolabe and what's it called? I think Oath of Nisa is Arkham's Astrolabe and like Ancient Stirrings all in one. It's the same shit. You get to add any mana. We can add mana of any color to cast your Planeswalker spells. You can spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast Planeswalker spells. Absolutely. And you get to dig for stuff. You get to dig for lands, creatures, Planeswalkers. That thing's nuts. Goldfish links make the bots link. There is no list now. It's dumb. I don't get it. So it interacts on a lot of different angles, like a lot of Merfolk's cards interact versus certain parts of the deck, but it feels like you need to answer, your answers really need to line up versus their draw. Not necessarily. Now remember, with Merfolk, so I'll tell you one thing I like about this list for Merfolk. They have no sweepers. Look at the sideboard. There's still no sweepers. So you would just, I think I would just run this deck over. Okay, you can gain some life somewhere. That doesn't matter. I can deal like 20 power to you. I can deal 20 damage and power to this deck easily. I'm not concerned about this. As a Merfolk player, I'm not concerned about this deck at all. They can't blow up the board. They really depend on this combo, and all I need is like, I mean, they can set it up a little bit with the Teferi Time Reveler and then Saheeli Rai, then Felidar Guardian. That's possible. So Dismember would be offline. But for the most part, I'm not concerned about this. Like, if they're forcing me to tap, so long as they don't have sweepers, I'm not concerned. Of course, they could add them. If future versions could add them, but I'm not too particularly concerned. So I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't change anything in this deck, but like I said, this deck is Astrolabe is not legendary. Well, so what? You still get the card, and doesn't save you from Blood Moon. Doesn't help you cast your Omnath or Uro. Yorion only can blink one. So what? You still get value. Value is value. You still can cast it. No big deal. What do you need so many Arkham? What do you need so many Arkham's Astrolabes for either? Would you want to see a troll list I made? It's Wizard Tribal and Hate. People have you're not the if you submit a troll list to Decklist review, you wouldn't be the first one. So anyway, I think the deck is very interesting. It's very powerful. We'll have to wait and see if this deck well, like I want to know how well I want to know what the win rate of this deck is going to be once everyone knows the combo. It's totally different. Yeah, it's Green Ponder. But also Arkham's Astrolabe, because it sits on the battlefield, fixes your mana. All right, deck review pick. We do like to see a troll list I made, and now Balada's deck list has been chosen. This was a budget 10 ticks deck, but has gone up to 30 ticks. Would like suggestions for possible upgrade and updates. So how? But like what? What's the budget for these updates? All right, so appears to be a mill deck. Crypt Incursion, Drown in the Lock, Extirpate, Fatal Push, Spell Pierce, Visions of Beyond, Glimpse the Unthinkable, Mesmeric Orb, 20 lands, Darkslick Shores, Field of Ruin. You got the crabs. We need some mill players here. This is my build deck. Well, you can only have one deck list submitted at a time. Okay, let's see. Ether Gust. What is so different between this and a normal mill deck is my question. It actually looks very similar. I mean, the two Spell Pierces look a little out of place. But you still have Glimpse the Unthinkable. You still have Mesmeric Orb. 20 lands seems low, but maybe that's fine. Maybe this is out of place. I can't remember. Like, if you want, I honestly don't even know like what to upgrade this deck with. This is my build deck, 15 ticks. What does bill mean? Oh, I have 15 ticks to upgrade. What the hell do I change? Maybe Fraying Sanity? Oh, this is actually expensive. No, but online it's not. It's like it's like 0.26 ticks. Does anyone have any like this looks like honestly it just looks like a stock list. Let's look up Modern Mill MTG Goldfish. Can you give me the mill category, please? This looks old. Okay, let's see if we can find mill. So what? It doesn't fix mana. You can only have one. Practically better Astrolabe, a banned card, Pepega. And has to be green and not any color. Hey, everyone plays green. Everyone plays green these days. Even Control plays green. That's the world that we live in. Look at all the green here. Green, 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 green. Okay, so let's look for mill, if there is any mill. I'm just looking for something to compare it to because honestly, this deck is so close to the same. Hey, just a shout out to the mill community. Mill community came into my Twitch chat and was thumping their chest about how good their deck was, and turns out like the player that was playing against me ghosted me and still lost. This is a message to the mill community out there. Your matchup against Merfolk's matchup against mill is a bye, and it's always going to be a bye. Take that, mill community. I don't mind stirring. You know what? I don't mind. I don't like being this nicey nice with everyone. If I have no problem stirring up some drama with the mill community if they come into my chat, you know, being talking all big about their archetype. 10 years ago, once went 7-1 in a team tournament. Anyway, so let's move on. If you want to bring, you don't come in, you don't bring your community into my Twitch chat, ghost me and lose. You remember that defeat, mill community. You remember that defeat. It's gonna be the first of millions to come. Okay, so what's different here? So they have, oh yeah, they're running Blood Chief's Thirst. So hold on, is maybe the only problem is your mana base? Is this like mostly mono blue? It is your mana base. You need more. We need more Dark Slick Shores, but I'm sure that's the more expensive card in your deck. This is 2 ticks. Okay, so how many black sources do you have? You have 1, 2. Like this sort of is a black source. 1, 2, 7, 9. You only have 9 cards that are like that's black mana. How many lands? They play 22 lands. 1, 2, 3, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You see, so that you all, so like the list looks so damn similar. It looks like you should just have more mana. So you probably should take out a Search for Azcanta, maybe one of the Spell Pierces or Extirpates, and get up to that 22 lands that the other mill decks are doing. And I understand, you know, ideally you have fetch lands to enable Hedron Crab and Ruin Crab. Maybe you can't afford that, but at least have the 14 black sources necessary. Do you need black? Yeah, you do need black sources. You have Drowning Luck, you have Extirpate, you have Fatal Push, so you need the black sources in this deck. So I would, if you have 15 ticks, 2 more Dark Slick Shores for sure. Another Field of Ruin, because apparently that's what they're playing as well, and you can force your opponent to look through their deck. What else? And Watery Grave is only 55 ticks, so like you play with more Watery Graves. Just make sure you have 15. Just make sure you have at least 14. It's not working. Maybe it doesn't. Hold on, let me look. Where are you, Ottoman? It looks deck review space. You gave the URL. Oh, maybe you have to give the HTTP. No, you don't. Other people are submitting it as well. I don't know what's wrong with yours. Sorry about that. Oh, 50. Oh, sorry, 0.55 ticks. 0.55. Less than 1 tick. Easily can afford it. If you have a budget of 55 ticks for Watery Grave, my God. Mill shot up the price of Watery Grave. So anyway, no, it's 0.55 ticks. So you can easily afford that within your 15 ticks budget. So I mean that's it though. That's it. Like your mana base just sucks. You don't have enough black sources to cast the black spells in your deck. So yeah, scrap the Search for Azcanta. It's slow and clunky anyway. And maybe one of the an Extirpate or a Spell Pierce. And also consider that they're running Blood Chief's Thirst. I think this card is actually really well positioned. You might want to have this over some other cards like Spell Pierce. Because it's 1 mana, destroy target creature, planeswalker, convert mana cost 2 or less, which is a lot in this format. Which is just a lot. A lot of cards you want to kill. But that's easily my recommendations. Just make sure you get to 22 lands. It'd be ideally you have fetch lands, ideally. But if not fetch lands, at least make sure you've got the black sources so you can cast the black cards in your deck. Yeah, we saw the ban list. They banned everything. All the things. Okay, so exclamation deck review. Pick. Remember, when you submit it, it gets picked at random. Werebear, Activists, Decklist. Is this choosing from the top of the queue by any chance? Is this actually random? Because this, well, I don't know. It probably is. Just over the last two today were from the top of the queue. So, Werebear Activist submitted on behalf of Autanane. So we actually get Autanten's list. All right, so let's go check out the list. By the way, we review anything except commander decks. And honestly, I prefer that you don't submit vintage decks either, but this is fine. Seasons Past combo. Careful consideration. Target player draws 4 cards. Discards 3 cards. If you cast a spell during your main phase, instead that player draws 4 cards, discards 2. Early Harvest. Target player untaps all basic lands he or she controls. Gifts Ungiven. So, I know what this card does. Noxious Revival. Put target card from a graveyard on top of its owner's library. Opt, Thought Scour. Heartbeat of Spring. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. Okay, so you can add double the mana. Sakura Tribe Elder. Edge of Autumn. If you control 4 or fewer lands, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. Regrowth Season. Regrowth? Turn target card from your graveyard to your hand. Seasons Past. Hold on. First off, what is the format? Is this modern? Okay, you have to explain yourself. Is this I'm assuming this is modern. You should have eggs and bacon with some toast. Okay, Autumn 10. I need to know, what is the format here? It's modern. Excellent. Okay, so now let's look at Seasons Past. Return any number of cards with different converted mana costs from your graveyard to your hand. Put Seasons Past on the bottom of its owner's library. Serum Vision, Sleight of Hand, Regrowth. Okay, you have to help me here. How do you win the game? You're attacking with Sakura Tribe Elder? And there's not even any sideboard here. Careful consideration. Target. Do you mill them? With careful consideration, you can just constantly you draw infinite cards, keep redrawing cards, and then you eventually mill them out with careful consideration. It's just a dumb deck that loops Seasons Past and Thought Scour. You know what? This is very interesting because the mill deck. Okay, so here's the deal. The mill deck, they only have so much gas to mill the opponent out. And then if there's this one card, what's it called? Like, what are some of the anti-mill cards outside of Kozilek? What's the mill card that what's it called? Because you have an infinite combo in this deck, it appears, right? Nexus of Fate is one card. Guy's Blessing is really the model example I'm talking about. Target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard into their library, draw a card. So your deck still has problems against these cards, but there's a simple solution. You can play with the Surgical Extraction. And actually, I think you can beat this deck better than other decks can, because the mill deck, the problem is they only have so many resources to mill the person out. So like when Gaia's Blessing, let's say they mill 40 cards and then they hit the Gaia's Blessing and the deck goes back to normal from where it started. Well, now the mill player is like, I don't have that many resources to beat this shit. But yours can, because you do this infinitely and you draw through your entire deck infinitely, correct? Like you can draw through your entire deck and you can you can draw into Surgical Extraction to beat Gaia's Blessing or Kozilek or whatever the hell they chose to beat mill. So I think you should add at least one in your deck somewhere, just a random one of somewhere. Is Mesmeric Orb necessary? Does this fuel your engine? This is a very original deck. I've never heard of this deck before. I've never seen anything like this. Oops, hold on. No, this is sorry, this is the wrong deck. Where's your deck? Here it is. I'm like, this is a mill deck. Let me get some of this old stuff out of the way. I've never seen such. I've never heard of this deck before. Even for a jank deck, I've never heard of it. So I suggest well, first off, you should have better mana in this deck anyway. You have to get Breeding Pool and other lands that will make your mana base more consistent. Because you do have double green cards here, and you do like 9 Force, 4 Misty Rainforest is just not going to do it. So you need to fix your mana base. I know that maybe this is a bit of a budget deck. Can Mox Opal? No, absolutely not. I don't think Mox Opal can be unbanned. Like the Affinity decks won't use it, but the Urza decks will. Urza will just go back to the prominence that it once was, in my opinion. Oh, you need the basics for this. Oh, but then how do you cast this? Okay, so because double green. Okay, I have a good question. On what turn are you casting this card? Or maybe you're going to have it anyway because of like Heartbeat of Spring. Well, then you need more fetch lands in this deck. How about that? You need more fetch lands outside of like Misty Rainforest. Oh, but then it doesn't help. So I guess you need Prismatic Vista. Okay, so the next best card would be... This would be a good upgrade, actually. So you need Prismatic Vista in this deck as another fetch land. Like, you need better mana. Oh, man. Even with it getting reprinted, this is money. Didn't we just reprint this card? No, Fabled Passage. Then maybe Fabled Passage as a cheaper alternative. But Prismatic Vista would be better. This is money, 24 bucks. But this would be a good upgrade. You have to improve your mana base. And there are ways of doing it, even if you just need lands. And you can do the same thing with Fabled Passage. Fabled Passage will be a little bit more clunky, but your deck is a little clunky, so who cares? So this is another option, sort of in the $6 range. So I suggest improve the mana base. And of course, I mean, I could give you an easy sideboard. Put like 4 Veil of Summer in the sideboard. 4 Nature's Claim for any deck that's going to bring in Rest in Peace against you, because your deck is heavily dependent on the graveyard, right? You're a graveyard-based deck with Regrowth. I don't know how the deck plays out, so I can't really give like good advice of what numbers you should have more of or less of. Serum Vision, Sleight of Hand, those are all fine. Maybe Force Negation is not really good for a combo deck that's because they combo off on their turn, not on the opponent's turn. Fabled Passage gets more affordable as time goes on. That's good. So, why play Urza when you can play Omnath? Because Urza's Urza. Urza only sucks because they lost everything. We banned everything around the Urza deck. We banned Mox Opal. We banned Arkham's Astrolabe. What else did we ban? We banned everything. Urza is like a shadow of like everything else. We have banned Oko, Thief of Crowns. Well, you can't even recognize that Urza deck anymore. Maybe Flusterstorm? Maybe? Like the ultimate card to protect your combo is just going to be Veil of Summer. So you just have this in the sideboard, and that'll protect you from Thoughtseize decks, as long as you're on the play. That'll protect you from, and it'll protect your combo from getting screwed with. So Veil of Summer is a very good card, I think, in your sideboard. And that's I don't know what more or less of these cards you should have. Are you gonna play this deck, Chief? You scouting for something spicy here? This is very original. This is a very, very original deck. I just hope that... How quickly can you get this deck to go online? Because I know if you just Goldfish to a turn 4 kill, that's not good enough. You usually need to interact with your opponent a little bit. And even decks like Ad Nauseam do that with things like Angel's Grace and Phyrexian Unlife. The side for now is Engineered Explosives. That's a good idea. Pithing Needle, 4 Leyline of Sanctity, 3 Nature's Claim, 1 Surgical Extraction, 4 Veil of Summer. Okay, that's fair. Well, the 1 Surgical in the sideboard actually is very fair. Maybe defense grid. This looks like a defense grid deck, right? Oops. Defense gride. During each player's turn, each other player... Oh, but do you know what? We play Gifts Ungiven in this deck. You probably want to do that in instant speed, probably. Anyway, I think your list is cool. Just get a better mana base. Because you're gonna have trouble casting some of these green spells. I mean, I know you probably should be playing this when you have a lot of mana anyway, but still. Heartbeat of Spring. That probably helps a lot. Maybe the Secure Tribe Elders. But how many? You only have 13 forests? It's close. It's close. You know, it's close. You probably, if you have 4 more fetch lands, you'll be golden. You'll just be golden. It's probably pretty close. The going online is pretty fast, but it can fizzle a bit. So we need... What fizzles? Like what card? I would... The problem is that it's hard for me to analyze this without actually playing it. Do you need more careful considerations? Do you need more thought scours? If you said this is your combo piece, then maybe you should have more of these instead of these, but I don't know. I'm not sure what it is that you need. Because I can see if something goes to the graveyard, you only have like 1 regrowth to get it back. Control 4 fewer lands, seasons past. Well, if it fizzles, just make sure that you have... Oh, are there any other tutors that you could use? I like the Gifts Ungiven. I love the Gifts Ungiven package. So you have 4 of those. That's good. Sometime gets to a lot of mana and stops drawing cards. So you need something that draws more cards. Is there any suggestions? You know what? Sometimes you just can't beat everything. I don't even think Cage is that great of a card versus Dredge, because they'll assume some sort of graveyard hate, and they always bring in like Ancient Grudge, shenanigans, stuff like that. Also, Dredge is not even big right now. I mean, if you're playing a graveyard deck, you're playing Oops All Spells. Where's my brother? He's usually here by now. Maybe he's on the way. Pieces of the... Ooh, Pieces of the Puzzle is a possibility. Could you replace 2 lands and 2 spells for the modal fate? Oh, what's it called? And the answer is yes. Modal face regrowth. I don't, but we need the name to help this deck. Got to keep those cards coming. But Pieces of the Puzzle is very... I don't know like what numbers of Pieces of the Puzzle you want in this deck. But this is a pretty good card for, I think, for some deck like this. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put 2 instant or sorcery cards from among them into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. Bala Ged. That's okay. This deck isn't doing anything immediately. So this is a green... oh, but this doesn't work with... We could still play with this card probably, but I don't think we can replace lands because we need the lands to... Because they need to be basic lands to have synergy with... what's it called? Heartbeat of Spring. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that play... Oh, no, it's not synergistic with Heartbeat. Heartbeat of Spring is fine. It's the early harvest that's a problem. But probably that doesn't matter that much. So return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Balada Ged Recovery. That's fine if the land comes to play tap. No big deal. You still have access to the graveyard. So we have more of these sort of cards. I think this is possible. So I don't know what to take out. I don't know what needs to be cut in order to make this card work. I imagine some cuts could be early harvest because you can always find that with Gifts Ungiven later. I don't know if you need 4 of these. Heartbeat of Spring seems fine because you can't... well, it's just fine. I think it's okay. I don't know about the Secure Tribe Elder. I don't know what's the point of this. I guess so you can ramp into like turn 4 Gifts Ungiven, but I think all your other cards are fine. This might be a cut in this deck. I'm not sure. Secure Tribe Elder actually looks really out of place in this deck. It's pretty pointless. By turn 2, I'm probably going to want to be playing more cantrips to find the things I need to set up a Heartbeat of Spring. Okay, here, how about this? Instead, if you're gonna play Secure Tribe Elder, I actually might recommend Utopia Sprawl instead. Although I believe that this needs to be put on only a forest. But the point is, and like if you're casting Tribe Elder, then you're casting this, right? But the point is that you can go turn 2. Like, you don't want to be spending your turn 2 playing Secure Tribe Elder, but you can go turn 1 Sprawl into turn 2 Heartbeat of Spring. And then when you untap your lands with early harvest, you can then tap that one particular land for 1 more mana. So actually, I think that's better. I think that's better. Instead of Tribe Elder, you go Utopia Sprawl instead. Yeah, go for it. We love hearing the improvements. We've improved many decks. All right. I know a lot of people submitted lists. Okay, let's look at another one. Let's deck review pick. I'm sure Chief is going to ask me what he wants for breakfast. Because my brother's not here yet. Why is the bot taking so long to pick something? Waiting on the bot. I have submitted my command. Sometimes it's slow. I'd say Grazer would be better since it also has reach for Blitz. Do you want to harvest on turn 2 and give your opponent first shot at double mana, or play it mid-combo? These are not the questions for me. Do I have to type this again? I don't know what's going on with my bot. I'm just going to wait. I could do it the old-fashioned way. I just pick something randomly from the chat. Scrolling up and scrolling down. Boom. Why not Narset to dig for the combo? I think that's more of a control card. That's hard to loop. It's hard to loop Narset. Like, a Narset is a good value card, of course, but it's hard to loop Narset into a combo because you can't like dump it in the graveyard, bring it back to your hand, replay, and get more value. You mentioned restricting primetime. Fran made a call to Twitch. Narset doesn't necessarily prevent the mill plan, because if the mill plan is Thought Scour you over and over and over again, you get Thought Scout. You like lose cards. The opponent loses the cards, but you draw the card. It's not taking. Something's wrong with our bot. Okay, I'm just gonna pick something at random. Oh no, this is not a deck list. We've seen this deck. So, a lot of people were trying to help help get this deck picked, because Lockhart also tried. Chief also tried. It's weird. Everyone submitted the same list on behalf of Otterman. Or sorry, Ottenton. I'm sure that's how it's pronounced. It's not taking any more lists. Well, then I'm gonna have to. Okay, so that's gonna be it. It's gonna be it for deck list review. That's gonna be it for Coffee and MTG. So if you're watching live, don't worry. We're gonna have Merfolk gameplay today live. We're gonna get back into the arena with Mono Blue Merfolk with Glasspool Mimic, but we're gonna be playing with Harbinger of the Tides, and we're also gonna go back to Benthic Biomancer. So for if you're watching live, don't change that channel. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna go ahead with the stream. But for everybody for everyone watching on YouTube, that's going to be it for Coffee and MTG. Thank you very much. We saw the banning of Omnath, of Lucky Clover, and that 5-mana sorcery card that I didn't know existed until today. So I have no emotional attachment to that card whatsoever. and we had a great conversation. We discovered a new combo deck that I've never seen before. So until then, I'll see you at the next cut. Take care. See you next time.